Whenever we felt that things were at last beginning to look really great for Wendy Williams, after all that she has experienced these last a few years, as per new reports, things are as yet not looking great for her by any means. And presently it's deteriorating on the grounds that she is currently trapped in the clinic, and they are not letting her out. Her child at last ended the quiet on why she's been held. And it seems as though Wendy's circumstance is much more terrible than we suspected. As much is her group truly exhausting her? And has she furtively been in recovery this time, Oak? So on the off chance that you missed it, Wendy's show got dropped over a year prior, and she has been jobless from that point forward. I realize she declared that she planned to send off a digital broadcast. However, at that point, there were gossipy tidbits about the web recording getting dropped. And we haven't heard anything about that to exacerbate the situation. Her cash is caught in Wells Fargo, and they need to put her under a conservatorship. Her life has been a wreck, yet she's been guaranteeing that she's way better now, and her group even asserted that she's prepared to hop once again into work, while media organizations and television shows are not precisely arranging to enlist her. Wendy has taken to different wellsprings of bringing in cash, like talking commitment. Well, 2 or 3 days prior, she was reserved to talk at the Atlanta Ladies Exhibition, and she was even one of the featured experts. Now this would have been the first time in quite a while that Wendy would talk freely at an occasion. The last time was back in November 2022, which she talked at WVLS Circle of Sisters, where she went wild and conceded that she was prepared for a renewed person and needed to fall head over heels. I can hardly stand by to fall head over heels, Oak. Currently, I'm not kidding about that. You realize it's insufficient that I sit home without anyone else at 58 years of age. I can hardly hold back to fall head over heels, definitely. And I would rather not get hitched. I believe you should have proactively had children. I maintain that he should be somewhere between some spot around my age, perhaps 10 years more youthful than me, and perhaps 15 years more seasoned than Neok. Her fragment was such a success that individuals were anticipating hearing her talk at the Atlanta Ladies Exhibition over the course of the end of the week. However, at that point, things took a specific turn. When Wendy unexpectedly pulled out of the gig, it was at that point that individuals began thinking that something was off-based. She planned to get $25,000 for the gig. And no shade to her, except for everybody realizes that she actually needs the cash. I mean, she's been selling her property and individual effects, and supposedly even her famous purple seat, so $25,000 would go far for her the present moment. And obviously she needed to have had a smart justification for counteracting. And it turned that she did. By insiders, Wendy dropped the gig because, in light of the fact that she experienced an unexpected issue a long time before the occasion, as per the Sun, Wendy was raced to the emergency clinic, not once yet 2 times in the days, paving the way to the occasion. And before individuals begin talking and spreading counterfeit bits of hearsay, her hospitalization didn't have anything to do with her beverages issue, nor was it a mental issue. It was an actual disease. And keeping in mind that that sounds better compared to rebuild it, actually doesn't sound generally excellent for Wendy. A source said Wendy previously went into the medical clinic around 14 days prior. She was delivered momentarily last end of the week, and she went right back in. Her family knows she has been hospitalized, yet they don't have every one of the insights regarding what occurred at this point. It should be obvious that she's in the clinic this moment. And it's not recovery. I don't know which clinic. It seems as though they're attempting to get the subtleties far from the general population. And it's not exactly shocking her well-being challenges over the further, so it just checks out that you attempt to deal with things as secretly as they can. And it appears as though things were considerably more serious this time around, in light of the fact that an insider said at one point they didn't think she planned to come out the opposite side, Oak. Or at all. That sounds so terrible, and it makes sense of why she needed to drop her talking commitment. A hotspot for the ladies' exhibition affirmed this, and Wendy's group likewise put out his announcement, saying it was with extraordinary thought that we felt it was best for Wendy to join a definitive ladies' exhibition. Sometime in the future, we anticipate delivering those subtleties when they are affirmed now. This assertion was dubious on the grounds that it seemed like her group realized that she most likely wasn't in sufficient shape to take on that gig. Yet they actually went on to book her at any rate. I couldn't say whether you all heard yet, there have been a few allegations against Wendy's group about how they're utilizing her and making the most of her to line their own pockets. The more cash Wendy gets, the more cash flow they make. So they have purportedly been pushing her to return to work, despite the fact that they realize that she's not even close to near being prepared at this point back in Walk 2023. When the media was detailing the way that Wendy had backslid after her digital recording, got dropped, her marketing specialist put out an announcement for her sake. Say we are as yet working in the background on a few ventures. There has been no authority undoing of the webcast. Evidently, Wendy went out commending the new things in her day-to-day existence. She is acquiring Wendy 2.0. She is blissful and energized for her new open doors and pizzazz. There are a ton of new things underway. And Wendy was observing Wendy is amped up for the street ahead and anticipating discharge her many tasks. Well, not long after that, her sibling Tommy emerged to shoot her group for making the most of Wendy. He said this isn't a lady who is in the right mood to get a show go. For what reason are you even here? Do you see the condition she's in? Does it seem as though she's prepared to begin a digital broadcast for God's sake? It doesn't. He likewise hammered them for shooting Wendy for an unscripted television show saved, so it emerges. And what works out, assuming Wendy is improving right? Who needs these sort of recollections? Who needs this? For what reason would she be able to simply get better as far as possible and afterward accomplish something this time? Individuals have been kicking her around. She can't be examining nothing since she can't thoroughly consider it. So others are thoroughly considering things for herself. And this time she might have been down here recuperating. Now Wendy and Tommy have consistently had their issues previously, and there were times when they could scarcely coexist with one another, yet I figure we can all concur that he was talking realities. Then and presently Wendy's group seems to have at long last destroyed her. Fortunately, it appears as though she will get through this time around, yet individuals are giving her group the side eye. And as per reports, Wendy's child Kevin likewise considers her group dependable in light of the fact that he feels like they drove her into doing an excess of when she was not prepared for that now. With regards to his child Kevin, with everything that has been happening with Wendy, he is additionally striving like, at one point, Wendy's sibling Tommy even let his dad know that when he wouldn't give her child access to her penthouse loft, he spilled that Kevin traveled to New York to invest energy with his mom on her birthday. Yet she wouldn't let him inside. We should sign us up, invest what could be fantastic time with his mom, assuming that she opens the entryway. And in some cases, around the finish of 2022, Kevin was ousted out of his extravagance $2 million Miami condo and sued for $70,000 in back lease. The thing is, Wendy was the person who was paying the lease, yet she could never again pay for him, purportedly because of clinical and legitimate reasons. Kevin even needs to show up in court, and he let the court know that due to his mom's medical problems, all of the monetary help he got from her quit, including his lodging. And he likewise said he was a full-time understudy, yet had removed a year from school and was caring for Wendy. And since Wendy has been hospitalized, again, sources near Kevin are saying that he is concerned that practically everything and activities that are arranged for her could cause her more pressure. Likewise, it seems as though her group may be pushing for Wendy to leave the clinic as a result of PR reasons yet again. Kevin is pushing against this. He believes that her should remain in the medical clinic until she has returned to typical reports. Have it that specialists are as yet running tests. And Kevin believes his mother should get however much rest, as could reasonably be expected. Individuals have blended sentiments about this, and they left remarks saying tragically, it doesn't seem as though anybody is paying special attention to her well-being. Concerning her well-being, this new group of individuals around her seem like they simply need the sack. And to ensure that she gets in front of an audience, when she plainly isn't well, this lady has consumed practically the entirety of her time on Earth. Meddling for a check, she has chuckled at individuals, experiencing out at individuals, ridiculed difficult circumstances, and surprisingly, discussed individuals what her identity is near so. For what reason are we surprised that she is in this position? Satan generally comes to gather and petitioning God for her recuperation. I realize she constructed her vocation on telling others business. Yet I think she got her karma before Kelvin Tracker, so this is truly miserable, on the grounds that she is a diversion, legend regardless of whether you like her. Yet do you folks accept that this is karma having an effect on everything? Or is this an instance of sad occasions? Let me in on what you think. And on the off chance that you like this video, you'll cherish the following one much more, please.